Man, stop it. Stop it.
Say that
Stop
one more
it.
time because now we're recording. Say that one more time, now we're recording, Colby. Before I do the intro.
I said it is an honor to be in the presence of the great, magnificent, wonderful, the man of many names.
Oh man. Come on now. You know you
Pablo Allah, Beezy, Brandon Bartholomew Jackson the eighth, boy. I tell you.
He said Bartholomew. This man said Bartholomew, folks. Oh man. Oh man. Welcome to the A1 Podcast. Your host
hey,
Oscar Lee.
he lucky. He lucky. He know what's up, but I'm gonna let him make it right now.
Yo, wildin' boy. Welcome to the A1 Podcast. Your host Oscar Ali. I'm joined today by my co-host Colby Griffin and Brandon Pablo Jackson. How y'all doing today, brothers?
Good, man. Good.
Shit.
Yeah, doing good.
So go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt that great exchange. The greatest exchange on history of the show.
Hey man, he the 3-for-3 3-time champion, man.
Yeah.
He got championships I can't even think about getting.
Who got
I
my
don't know what
Kobe?
you talking about over there. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Kobe.
I don't know
Hey
what you
man.
talking
Hey
about.
Kobe, where they at, boy? Come on up. Show me up, baby. Show me up.
See, no, he's so special. His is locked in like secret, like little cases and shit. His is too valuable to just, he's a man. He the GOAT.
He's the go. Oh, hey, is he? Hey Kobe, you heard all that?
No, I did. So my bad. My wife just left, man, and my phone connected to the Bluetooth outside. I couldn't hear nothing.
I say
it's
you
probably
the
lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You the 3-time champ. You 3 for 3.
To...
You got championships I can't even think about getting.
So
What was it? The Peach Bowl, I think, was it?
Peach Bowl.
Aren't you part of
Listen
like
here, sir. What you're not gonna do is hit me with facts. All right.
I mean, I have to.
Your facts don't change my opinions. All right. You're the GOAT.
Man. So we're basically all a bunch of champions on this here podcast, right? So I mean, we all good, baby. We all good, baby.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah, let's talk, man. I mean, I'm just saying, obviously different levels of football it unites everyone, right? Whenever you play, whether it's semi-pro, whether it's college, whether it's arena, indoor, right? Brandon, I know you got your trial coming up. Yeah. So I mean, that's
appreciate you from this guy. He the one who got me invited to it. He's actually a wild player. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I found that out yesterday. Yeah. Kobe's actually a member of the Austin Wild professional indoor football team, and so pretty much, hopefully, I mean, if your trial goes well, man, we'll be seeing Pablo Allah fucking. What do you call that shit? Are you going for corner? Or are you going for wideout? What you going for?
Receiver.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll see. Randy Moss in that bitch. Or T.O.
Why you giving that look, bro?
I have 1,000% confidence that Pablo will make the team.
Yeah.
1,000% confidence.
You never know, man.
You can quote me on that. God damn it! It's a direct quote. All right.
Hey, that's coming from the GOAT, so that mean a lot.
Man, I love this shit, man. So I mean, to two great players who can basically a bunch of dudes just arguing about who's the GOAT, and we can't get an agreement. It's basically Kobe and LeBron, or LeBron and MJ, but it's just
must I hit him with more facts?
So check this out. I actually have a poster, not in my room, but of my children's room, of Pablo Jackson.
Stop it.
So every night after my kids say their prayers, they don't say, "Daddy, I want to be like you." The last thing they say before their heads to pillow is, "Make me like Pablo."
He lying.
She's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Hey, bro, he lying. His nephew still talk stuff about beating me in Uno, so I know that's a lie. That's a lie.
Beat you on Uno though, boy. Shit.
My 4-year-old is cold in Uno. No bullshit. Yeah. He be plotting on people. I swear.
So man, it's good. It's good having football connections on the show. I mean, everyone knows everyone was separated by one person, I think. So right. I mean, it's really good. So yeah, let's go. Let's get right into it. Obviously, I believe Pablo, you, and yesterday Kobe. I know you. We called it. We called yesterday's game before the game started. Alabama Roll Tide. And I mean, yeah. I mean, pretty much. Kind of, what's your guys' instant reaction from yesterday's game?
I just want to say that I called not only Alabama winning. I think my direct quote on the podcast was Alabama is going to beat the dog shit out of Ohio State. I just want to reference that, okay? I didn't say they were going to beat Ohio State. I looked at this camera and said they're going to beat the dog shit out of Ohio State.
Man, and you know it's messed up because all season long, you know USC my team, but who I tell you my second team?
Ohio State, absolutely.
Man, I had all the faith in the world yesterday. There was nothing you could tell me. I'm Justin Fields. Like, what?
Yeah.
Bro.
But I will say this though. From a purely unbiased analysis standpoint, that was not the best Ohio State that took the field this season.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to take so. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that at full strength they would have beat Alabama, but what I'm saying is that Justin Fields that we saw last night clearly was not healthy.
Yeah,
I think that hit from 2 weeks prior in the semifinal game. I think that hip is still bothering him. He wasn't planting on his throws. He was shying away from pressure. Like he wasn't hanging in the pocket. I think he's still hurting a little bit. I mean, I think they had 8 starters out because of 7 or 8 starters out because of COVID. Like
every other catch I heard, true freshman. I was like, God damn.
right. Like that poor outside linebacker who got bashed up with Devontae Smith in the slot. They were like starting his first college football game. I was like, holy shit! Like,
bro, they went right at dude.
First game ever, you got to guard the Heisman Trophy winner.
Dude finna pull a hamstring trying to keep up with Buddy, bro. That shit was embarrassing.
You ever watched the big man relay when you were in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Facts, bro. I'm ran out his cleats trying to catch up with dude.
Exactly. But yeah, man. And then I think quiet as it's kept, man, Najee Harris is a lot better than he gets credit for.
Yeah, he is.
Oh man, 100%, 100%.
Najee, so and like I would say this in terms of like Alabama running backs, you know, you got Derrick Henry, who in my biased opinion is the best to come out of Alabama. Obviously, it's my cousin. Mark Ingram was a great running back there. You had Trent Richardson, who although NFL career not so good, but in college was a monster.
Yeah.
Right. Bo Scarborough was decent there. But like the thing I like to think about that running back room is, yes, at one point Alabama had so many running backs that Alvin Kamara had to transfer.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
What? Like that dude led the NFC in rushing this year.
And
he had the second most rushing yards in the NFL this season. It was like,
ain't that crazy though?
Yeah, like I don't think I'm gonna make the field.
Both went to Alabama and they both was the top 2. Even though he finished at Tennessee, but
yeah, like he looked around the running back room and was like, "Fuck, I don't think I can make the field here. I gotta go somewhere I can play." What?
That's fucking crazy.
But saying that, I think Najee Harris is gonna be somewhere between the Mark Ingram. I think he'll be a little bit better than Mark Ingram. I don't want to say he'll be as good as Derrick Henry yet, because who knows. That also depends a lot on where he goes and stuff like that. But with him, I don't think he'll be as high of a draft pick, so he might go to a better team. I think he's going to be one of those guys who comes into the league and puts up 1,000 yards as a rookie. Just the way he runs the football, the way he caught the ball last night. He showed me a lot in pass protection last night that I wasn't really used to seeing him, step in the hole and take on linebackers and edge rushers like that. I think he definitely improved his draft stock last night.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then Mac Jones played the best game of his life. So
I was about to ask y'all about Mac Jones. Do y'all think Mac Jones is legit, or do you think it's just a case of another Alabama quarterback with 5 stars around him? Like, honestly, like, because it's super hard for me to get a true evaluation of Alabama quarterbacks, because it's like, how many Alabama outside of Tua, how many good quarterbacks that came from Bama? And that's actually doing.
I'll say this: I've never seen Mac Jones make a wow throw.
Me either. Half of them be ducks.
so like, you know, like when you watch Trevor Lawrence play, right? Like Trevor Lawrence does shit that would make you mad as a QB coach, right? Like you know what I mean? Like he throws back across his body 50 yards on a spiral touchdown, and you just go, wow. Like, man, I would beat your ass, but like, what am I taking? Not make that play, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen Mac Jones make a throw that made me go, wow. Because if you look back at his highlights, yeah, he's throwing to guys that have 5, 7, 9 yards of separation. Like
exactly.
I mean, shit. I'm pretty sure I could throw for 1,000 if I had Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, bro. Like I'm pretty sure. Like, I could make some shit shake.
That'd be my thing with all of them, because you see him making like got all these good stats, but it's like like every player is a bomb where the dude just run and catch touchdown, like
every time.
Throw a bubble to Jalen Waddle, he takes it 70 yards. Like
you went to college on rookie difficulty, my boy. Like you don't got it like other quarterbacks got it out here, my boy. Like trust me.
He got the road to glory 99, trying to difficulty out the freshmen.
Cloud is all the way back. Right?
But I don't know, man. I think that Ohio State had a terrible game plan from start to finish. Like, okay, no, and never adjusted it. Like, yeah. I get the fact that they felt like Wade, their DB, was that guy. He had a great year all year. Was locked down, blah blah blah. But after the first quarter, you have to find ways to help protect him. Like, because that dude's draft stock took a hit last night. And I understand Ohio State all year has been aggressive. They played man defense, 1 to 2 high safeties, and man under, or, pretty much vanilla. They're either blitzing and playing man behind it, or they run 2 man. A lot of times they run cover 1 with a robber underneath. But, like, clearly Bama was spreading y'all out and attacking y'all in the seams and, bubble screening y'all to death. Like, at some point, you have to adjust. I just felt like Ohio State was like, fuck it, this is what got us here, and this is what we go lose with. Like,
that shit did not work out well, boy.
At all. Like, I just don't understand, like, as a DC, you're like, okay, they got 3 receivers that run 4-4 better. Let's have my linebackers out there in man coverage in the slot. It's like,
he said man coverage in the slot.
What?
Oh man!
Like, I know kids who play Madden who would be like, "That's a terrible idea. Let's audible out of it." Like, that's like, 8, 9-year-old kids know. Like,
what y'all think about Waddle playing yesterday? Because I don't think that was the best of ideas.
As a player who would have been on his team, I'd have been like, "Man, I appreciate you trying to do what's best for the team. Sit your ass down, Jalen.
For real, go sit your ass down, boy.
We got this one, bro. Go sit down, please." Like, every time he lined up, I only play like 7 or 8 snaps, but like every time I saw him on the field, I just cringed, bro. Like I was like
this is gonna be the moment.
Yeah, bro. Like I kept looking away because like I didn't want to be the one who saw the moment where he fucked his shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to be watching live when like his shit snapped. But do you think he comes back next year?
To Bama?
Yeah,
I would.
I think he will too. I think the only reason he played in that game is because he's coming back. Because I feel like if you made a decision already that you're gonna leave. And
you're not doing that shit.
Exactly. You just get your body right and go pro.
That's what I'm thinking. Like when you just asked him, I'm like, well, he did play, and because it wouldn't count against his shit or nothing. And I mean, shit, why not? Only thing you're doing is just taking an extra year off your body that you could have been in the league. But is he not a senior, right?
No, he's a junior.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, he good.
Yeah, he good.
And then shit. Now it's his turn to go win the Heisman.
Right. Well, before the season, they were saying that Jalen Waddle was better than Devontae Smith.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So now is his chance.
And I think that Bama's backup quarterback is to his little brother, right?
Yeah.
Well, Wait. No, what you say?
Isn't Bama's backup quarterback Tua's little brother?
Nah, he went to Maryland. It's Young.
Oh, he transferred. You're right.
It's Young, the freshman.
Got you.
Bryce Young.
Oh yeah, Bryce Young. There you go.
Yeah, he played. Well, he didn't play, but he ended the game out last night.
Right.
Yeah, but nah, Tua little brother killing that Maryland though.
Yeah, they say Tua's little brother is more talented than Tua is.
Yeah, fact.
They say Tua has like a better mind for the game, but as far as like physicality and like arm talent and stuff like that, his little brother is leaps and bounds ahead of him at the same age. So we shall see, man.
That's crazy to think about. Because Tua was another one who I didn't really believe in. Like I wasn't too high on Tua. When everybody else was like, man, he did. I'm like, bro, Alabama. Like, I don't know. For me, Alabama quarterbacks get no credit. Like,
I feel it. I'm sorry. I wasn't a big fan of Tua at first because I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, man.
Me
Jalen
too. Hey, Jalen Hurts, baby. Hey, we know what time it is.
From Houston, man.
Yeah.
Freshman took him to the ship. So the following year, him to get pulled in the Natty, like when they were winning, like I'm like all right, whatever. Where I gained respect for Tua was the following season when Bama wasn't just running through people, and he actually had to win some close games, right? So he had the close one over LSU, he had a close one over Georgia, even though Jalen Hurts had to bail him out in the SEC championship game, whatever. We ain't gonna talk about that. But
I was waiting to bring that up.
But I think Tua could be a very, very good NFL quarterback if he can stay healthy. My only worry about Tua is he's a smaller guy. And he likes to get outside the pocket, and he likes to scramble. But he doesn't have one of the two, right? So like typically when you have scrambling QBs, they're one of the two things. Either they're extremely elite fast or they're strong enough to handle themselves in the open field, like a Josh Allen, or like a Dante Culpepper back in the day. Tua is neither. He's not very fast and he's small.
Yeah.
Like imagine Drew Brees out there running around, you know what I'm saying? Like running. So that's the only thing I worry about is Tua staying healthy.
Nerve that they actually thought about trading this man to the Texans for D-Hop. Like,
yeah,
damn hit.
Yeah.
Like, y'all crazy.
Yeah, whatever reporter like leaked that rumor need his ass whooped. Like for real.
Yeah, facts, boy.
I'm telling you right now. See, if the Texans trade Deshaun Watson for Tua Tagovailoa, straight up,
yeah,
you go catch me on the news.
If we not trading him for the number 1 pick, goddamn.
You will catch me on the news. You hear me? Man outside Reliance Center goes crazy. Here live on the 7:00 news. I'm calling every McNair everything but a child of God. Boy, I'm out there.
me for real though.
I tell you what though, I think Ohio State will be back before Bama's back.
If the season went how it went this year, they'll both be back.
Bama's losing a lot though.
Ohio State coming back for sure. Because like they running through them, like they running through the Big Ten. Like that's not a question.
And they're very young at a lot of positions.
Yeah,
like
you see that? That's why I say last night you kept hearing freshman. I'm like, damn,
right?
Niggas is ready. But Bama is Bama. So unless some SEC school take that leap like they usually do every 2 or 3 years, I see them both going back.
Yeah, the only competition I see for Bama out the SEC is probably Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia's quarterback surprised me this year.
Yeah. So is Slovis leaving? Because I know didn't they have JT Daniels, right?
Yeah, JT Daniels is there.
So what about the other guy?
I think they're gonna let him compete.
Oh, that's whack. He should have just stayed at USC, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Exactly. Someone said
it. He'd be the starter this year.
Easily.
Easily.
Yeah, take that shit. Goddamn.
Easily. I feel
Shout out
like
Low for the Two if you listen to this shit. USC alum. Go ahead.
real shit though. Like that is,
Yeah.
it would have been his team, no contest this upcoming season.
Right.
Damn, man. Why always got to be?
So since we were talking about Bama, did y'all hear about the new coaching decision that Bama's thinking about making?
What?
So Steve Sarkisian, the OC at Bama,
Texas, right?
accepted the head coaching job at Texas. I'm gonna swing back to that later. But Alabama is currently in talks with Bill O'Brien about making them their OC.
Oh. Oh my God.
Have they not been alive like the past 5 years? Like, what the fuck? I'm available. That's the case. Shit, hire me.
Bill Bubble Screen O'Brien is about to get a OC job at Alabama.
Boy, like, come on
This
now.
is the same Bill O'Brien that had a 21-point lead against the Chiefs and said, let's change the game plan.
Good thing I'm not a Bama fan, because boy,
I'd be hot.
boy.
I'd be hot. The same Bill O'Brien who was like, DeAndre Hopkins, not that good. Let's go get David Johnson instead.
Hey, you guys, give me a quick second.
I got you.
Yeah, man, that's crazy to think about. Now, with you being on the West Coast, do you follow the Big 12 at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a Longhorns fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Sark hire?
Man, I like it, boy, because you talking about this shit. It's like Sark brings like an arsenal. Again, shout out to Lofa Two if you listen to this. Sark was the OC over there, or kind of QB's coach before he became OC and then head coach. And so, obviously, with Sarkisian, he's gonna bring in kind of that West Coast offense. He's gonna bring in a lot of different type of ways to innovate under Nick Saban. I also think with Texas specifically, when we're talking Big 12, they made the right hire, or made the right decision, letting go of whoever the fuck that weak ass coach was. I already forgot his name. So the Big 12 is looking good actually if we're looking at it, because there's a lot of talent, and also kind of to Alabama, if they get a Bill, man. Bill O'Brien ain't shit, boy. I mean, anyone can be in that OC spot, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, look at the talent that team has. I mean, they get the best receiver almost every single other draft class. Like, they got Julio Jones back in 2008. Then they end up getting Amari Cooper. Now they got Devontae Smith, who's going out, and then like you said, Jalen Walter's still going to be there. So I mean, it don't matter who the fuck OC is, right? I'm saying, like, because he has all the tools at his disposal. That arsenal is too deep, G. Like, it's this shit crazy,
It's too
Think
deep.
about this. What was the last year that Alabama didn't have an NFL running back? Like, you really have to go back. Like, so I think it's 2007.
Yeah. Back to when we was all in high school or middle school. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, what? Like, that's really so back to back to back to back. They had Ingram, Richardson,
Lacey.
Oh yeah, Lacey. Oh my, Eddie Lacy. Yeah, Eddie Lacy was a dog in college. He got fat and lazy, but he was a dog. Eddie Lacy, D. Henry. You got who was Yeldon. There you go. TJ Yeldon.
Yeah.
And TJ Yeldon. So, like, literally they've had 6 or 7 draft picks at running back, not just guys who undrafted free agents. 6 or 7 guys in the top 3 rounds, back to back to back to back to back. It's easy to coach. Hey, we're gonna give that. Hey, you know what? I got an idea. We're gonna give that guy the ball.
If all else fails.
Fuck yeah! Like I remember when I was watching Alabama play against I think it was Missouri. Like when Missouri had just gotten to the SEC. It was like 3rd and 3, beginning of the game. And one of the announcers was like, "What do you think Bama's gonna do here?" And I was like, "They're gonna give the ball to fucking Derrick Henry. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't care. I don't care if you know it's coming. I'm gonna send this 248-pound running back down the middle. Stop it." Like,
the way he ran through NFL players, like just thinking back to like even high school or fucking college, like, bro, that shit was unfair, bro. That shit was unfucking fair.
bro, being related to him was the biggest kick in the teeth in the world. So we came out the same year, all right? So we both graduated in 2011. And I was a decent high school football player. Derrick Henry was the greatest high school football player that's ever existed. So, like, we had a group text between myself, Derrick Henry, and my uncle, right? So I'd be like, my uncle would be like, "Yo, Kobe, how'd you do out there?" I'd be like, "Oh, man, I had a decent game. I had like 5 tackles and a pick 6. Take a kick return back, whatever." Like, "Oh, man, that's what's up." I'm like, "Yeah, D, how'd you do?" He's like, "Oh, man, I did all right. You know, we pulled out a W today." I go look at the stats, man. It'd be like 18 carries, 476 yards, 7 touchdowns. We done beat the other team by 45. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. And what made it worse is he was so humble about it. Like, "Oh man, yeah, we did all right. Like we worked hard, came up with a W today." I'm like,
this nigga.
right, all right, man. All right, bro. All right, D, get the fuck out my phone, man. Like, and it was crazy because like I remember so D was getting recruited already in like the 9th grade, like the beginning of the 9th grade, right? So I remember like when I got my first offer, I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "I got an offer from Baylor." He was like, "Oh man, that's what's up. Which coach gave it to you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, man. Theo Young called me, and then we talked to Coach Art Browse, and they sent me the offer." He was like, "Oh, okay, cool, man." He was like, "Yeah, the coach who offered me is no longer there, man. That was 3 years ago." I'm like, "We're juniors. Like what? Like how was it 3 years ago? Like
He just offered me at a whole nother school.
I'm like what?" Like, so like, bro, it was just a whole different like experience. Like, bro, this dude averaged a first down a carry, man. Like for a career, for high school.
Yeah, the only high school player to have 4,000 yards rushing ever. The only one.
As a freshman, so check this out. As a freshman, he ran for 1,800 yards, and that was his worst season in high school.
Crazy, man.
So you imagine an 8th grader coming in and giving you 2,000? That's fucking wow, bro. An 8th grader.
Like I be thinking back to like when I was playing high school football, and like looking back at like the freshmen who were decent enough to be on the varsity team. They weren't even like real contributors. You know what I'm saying? Like some cats hadn't hit puberty yet, fam. Like this dude ready for 2K? Like what?
If I was like an opposing freshman, like watching him do that, I was like, I gotta go through this for 4 years. Like,
right.
Yeah. Coach, I want to play receiver. I don't want to play DB no more. I want to play receiver.
Right. You understand, bro? It's probably some all-state linebacker somewhere who was a senior who's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck this little freshman up." Boom! No. No. Yeah, man. But to your point, see, I personally stand opposed to anything the University of Texas does on a spiritual level, because fuck them people. Right. But the AD who was at TCU, Chris Del Conte, is now the AD at UT. And I really, really like that dude. I think that the Sark hire is a really good hire for 2 reasons. One, it's going to expand their recruiting profile even more nationally, right? So like,
yeah.
And Pablo will tell you, like, if UT comes to your school, like, you're gonna sit down and hear them out. It doesn't.
Yeah, no question.
Boy,
in the state of Texas, like, if UT gives you an in-home visit, like, you float, like you're that guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
like if you can be like, I went there, you walk around with a hat or some little gloves or something, or just people know that UT even interested in you. Yeah,
exactly. So, but with Sark having that West Coast tie with his time at Washington, USC, and then he's recruited all over the Southeast when he was at Bama. I think that hopefully Texas can get not only the best of in-state, but some more out-state guys, right? So like Florida, Georgia, California. And then when they lose to TCU, it won't be by as much. You know what I'm saying?
Right. This motherfucker just spitting out here, boy.
Hey, I'm just saying, listen, not that I'm keeping track or keeping count, right?
Yeah.
Not that I would do that. But since TCU joined the Big 12, UT's only beaten us twice. That's all I'm gonna say. 8-2, but who cares? 80% win rate. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. And I think
a drastic turn for the worse. Older every year.
Bro. And what pisses me off about TCU, bro, is like we'll beat cheeks. Like we went 5-7 2 years ago. Beat the dog shit out of Texas. Like Texas went 10-3. And like played the Alamo Bowl. We went 5-7. We were terrible. Beat the dog shit out of Texas.
They did one game.
Right. It's because every kid who's at TCU who didn't get offered from Texas wanted to go to Texas. So let's just keep it a buck like that. It's like that chip on the shoulder.
Like, oh, you didn't want me?
Yeah. That effect works. That effect works, man. Do you think USC is ever gonna bounce back to being USC?
I hope, bro. I really do hope. But it's something with they recruiting because they get good top, like 5-star, 4-star players, and then right when they come down, they all flip.
Yep.
They always flip. They do shit every year. Because, like, if I'm not mistaken, we had Bryce Young.
Right.
And then he flipped and went to Alabama. And I'm like, damn, like, that was the one. Like, but I don't know. We had Bowden, the safety from Miami.
Yep.
We had one of the dudes from Texas, the receiver, light-skinned dude from that go to Texas. We had him, Brew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh man, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like we somehow stay competitive, but it's just like we not nowhere near what we used to be. Because the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 used to just be like whatever, like
right.
Nah.
Yeah, like I remember like watching a game. I want to say I think I was in my sophomore or junior at TCU, and it was like it was Oregon State versus USC, and Oregon State was beating the dog shit out of USC. And I was like,
we need to make a big name hire. Like we get us another good big name hire, then it'll, like you say, bring in some recruits and shit.
Because I think the main thing is me being here on the West Coast, and obviously shout out to Game. You listen to this. He was 2-time national champion back in the Trojans back in the 2000s. The issue is Pete Carroll was the guy that everything flowed through Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll was the focal point of any type of recruiting discussions, all the visits, everything. He was that much involved, and obviously kind of like Colby, you got Nick Saban, kind of it was basically the same thing. That's what I gathered when I interviewed former USC players. Without that big personality, Pablo, to your point, without that kind of that main attraction at kind of running the helm, it's very hard to get the talent to make them stay. Because I mean, we all know this. You want to play for someone who kind of has a I guess like kind of like a resume, you know what I mean, and kind of inspires and electrifies, kind of your whole. And Pete Carroll, like it's funny, like you still see him in the league doing what he's doing 10 years ago at USC, 20 years ago. It's like he's like Benjamin Button. The motherfucker just keeps de-aging. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. He gets younger every year. I don't care what nobody says, bro.
Yeah. So Lofa still says the same thing. So I agree. I also think with Texas, the same issue. Mac Brown leaves. So who's the new guy? Charlie Strong did all right. He did all right. You know what I mean? He was good. But then, then you bring in this dude. Who the fuck? Herman? That's his name. Herman. That's his name. The guy they fired. Finally. Sorry ass coach. So Herman gets fired, and now pretty much it's like there's no one like who. But Sarkisian is kind of, I think I have faith that he'll bring back those recruits. Those 4 maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how many 5 stars, but we'll see. Definitely some 4-star prospects. So yeah, I mean. Yeah, sorry, but yeah, Pablo, to your point, I think you need to have that main kind of that guy just kind of gets you kind of amped. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, like this is a guy who we gonna go to war for. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah.
Is Nick Saban the GOAT?
High school, college coaches, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what? I mean, who else? I mean, if he ain't, then
Okay, I
who?
just want to make sure we're all the same page.
And the
Yeah,
fucked
I
up,
mean, if he ain't, then who? I mean, shit,
the
7
fucked up
straight.
part about it, he
Yeah.
not done.
No.
He ain't done.
Nigga might get about 11, 12.
Yeah,
Nigga not
man.
done.
He's played or he's coached in 8 national championships in the last 14 years.
And on that note, fellas, I gotta head out.
Damn.
But nah, I remember I told you I had to leave by like 2:15. I gotta get ready to head to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be
but I'll
done.
let you boys.
All right, for sure, baby.
But yeah, man. And then like I was just that stat right there. 8 out of 14.
You know what I'm saying?
What? He's won 6 out of those 8. Like, what? Like, really think about that. If you're a 14-year-old kid, Alabama, you have seen more national championship games with Alabama than you have not.
Right.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy.
It's just like, and I mean, to your point, like it's almost like Bill Belichick now. It's like if you're a player, free agent, or you're a prospective recruit, say that Pete Carroll back in the 2000s, you just see the name, you see the rings, and you just see this. You're like, okay, yeah, this is the dude who's gonna help me get to that next level,
Right.
one way or another. And no, it's like 8 out of 14. Like, god damn, boy.
Right.
Like, god
Where do I
damn.
sign? Where do I sign?
Yeah, like, okay, shit. All right. What, you need to come 3 days? 3 days? I got you, coach. I got you.
Facts,
exactly.
exactly.
You need me water boy? I got you.
Exactly. Like
Because obviously with you and your experience, you can attest that firsthand. He told you how it is. You're not going to be able to start with the first 2-3 years, but you'll be a part of the family, like you said. And
right.
and pretty much with that, you can see that translate. The guys buy in. There's no
Right.
question about it. So yeah.
With Jalen, like for example, with Jalen Waddle, man, like
Right.
that kid had everything to lose, nothing to gain last night by playing.
Right.
But he still wanted to play for the program, like bought in. You know what I mean? And like I think in the days of like the transfer portal and all those things, a kid like Mac Jones, his story is cool. Like to have that buy-in where Mac Jones really sat there and waited his time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it wasn't like Mac Jones like a bum coming out of high school or anything like that. Like he could have went to many different universities, and I'm sure that if he were to transfer, he could have been a starter at many different universities. But he sat there and waited his time. Like, so that speaks to like the buy-in of the program, the buy-in of the coach. Like, dude's the GOAT, man. Like, especially in this, I think doing what he did in this era. I think college football now is more competitive than it's ever been, just because of the internet and globalization of the world, man, has made college football more competitive. Like 30, 40, 50 years ago, there wasn't a North Dakota State that could challenge a D1 school. There wasn't, I mean, you didn't have to worry about like Coastal Carolinas and shit like that because all the money was centralized and all the best recruits went to these schools. And, back in Bear Bryant's day, they didn't used to have a limit on scholarships, right? You could have 40, 50, 60 kids a class. You bring on scholarship and then you just cut them if they don't work out. So I think he's the GOAT, no question, man.
It's no question. It's no question.
Yeah.
I mean, and the craziest part is he didn't do it all at Alabama. He won one at LSU during the time that USC was running through the fucking NCAA.
Mm-hmm.
So Lofa, again, if you listen to this, boy, hey, credit to your choices, man, but y'all did not win. That 2003 one is shared. Remember that shit.
That's right. Share with LSU.
Share with LSU. So,
man,
it's crazy.
It is crazy. And to be honest, he brought LSU back.
He did.
Because LSU was for a long period of time was a mediocre program. And Saban got them back into the terms of, national prominence.
Right.
And then he went to Miami and, never happened.
Burn the tapes.
Right, exactly. That organization was just
trash.
shitty from top to
Trash,
bottom. Right.
Boy.
From top to bottom. Like, he had no talent, constant discipline issues like that. Like, I felt like he didn't get enough time at Miami.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's a job. So I said the same thing with Bill Belichick, right? Like, I think Bill Belichick could have turned the Browns around if he had more time.
Right.
that was an organization that you turn around in 2 years. It wasn't possible. Nobody could do it, right?
Right.
Like, even look at Bill Belichick when he joined the Patriots, right? Like the Patriots were not dominant his first 2, 3, 4 years. I think it wasn't until like year 6 that they, competed for the AFC East title. Right. But once he got his system and once he got his guys and once the wheels started turning, look at the results now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like, who wouldn't want to be the Patriots?
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like good organizations trust their coaches and they give them the time they need to kind of build, and I think
exactly.
per example, that's actually Andy Reid. Because if you look at Andy Reid in Philadelphia, he led them to 5 NFC Championship games. They give him the axe. He goes to Kansas City. He's not delivering. He keeps drafting. Tyreek Hill, fucking, McCall Hardman, obviously, Clyde Edwards-Helaire recently, but then he gets Patrick Mahomes, right? He gets Patrick Mahomes, and then all of a sudden, boom. Sometimes it's that one player, whether it's Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, that's all you need. But you need to be patient until your organization, your coach can kind of bring that player on board, because it is, like you said, it's a process. Football is a very methodical, strategic sport, both on the field and off the field. And if you're not able to take the time necessary, then you're pretty much wasting your time. Because to your point, I think Miami could have probably voted well for Nick, because right after he left, I think Chad Pennington came back and they made the playoffs.
Yep.
They made the year after, 2008. So why didn't you just let the man give him one more year?
Right.
So these are the types of things that people don't understand about football. It's very slow. It's not boom, we're gonna win like that. We're the fucking St. Louis Rams, and we go 3-13. We come back, Kurt Warner, we win. No, dude, it ain't. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't work like that, right? And I think, and it's funny you brought up Pat Mahomes, because I think what's going to solidify Andy Reid as one of the great coaches of this sport is the fact that when he built the team for Pat to come into, right? And then even when he drafted Pat didn't start right away. He still groomed him behind Alex Smith. The same way that, like Mike Holmgren had the nuts to groom Aaron Rodgers behind Brett Favre. Like that, to look at a guy who's that talented and go, damn, he's gonna be really good, but not yet. Just like, let's be patient, because what we'll get from this return will be better than what we can get right now. Like that, to be able to have that foresight. And imagine if you throw Pat Mahomes into the fire from day one.
Yeah.
You don't have the O-line to protect him, don't have the weapons, and he loses his confidence. He never becomes the Patrick Mahomes we all know and love today, right?
Yep.
So like to have that foresight, Andy Reid's the truth, man.
He's the truth. And to your point about kind of Mike Holmgren, and obviously with that, and that's a very good point, because I remember when the 2005 draft was happening, Aaron Rodgers is a Bay Area product. He also went to JUCO here, so he resonates with me being a Cali JUCO boy. You know what I'm saying? So and my sister went to Cal. I'm like, let's go get A-Rod. We're gonna get A-Rod. Mike McCarthy ends up drafting Mike McCarthy, and Mike Nolan thought Alex Smith had more character. Aaron Rodgers is too arrogant. Like, the fuck does that even mean? Like, you get a guy who has more character but less athletic talent, thinking that, okay, yeah, like this is the guy. Like, come on, man, bro. I mean, like, Aaron Rodgers was like a no-brainer, and obviously Mike Holmgren, to your point, seeing that no-brainer pick, capitalizing on the opportunity, and then also, and if we also go back to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Tom Brady was like a 6th-round pick. He didn't start till his second year. He sat his entire first year, and it wasn't until Drew Bledsoe got injured. I mean, all the great quarterbacks have to sit. Joe Montana was drafted in the 3rd round. He didn't start until like a year, 2 years after.
Right.
Like, I mean,
2.5 years after. Yeah.
2.5 years. Yeah. And I think I totally agree with your assessment, because if you look at it, a great organization with a Bill Walsh, with a Mike Holmgren, with a Bill Belichick, all-time great coaches, right? They have the foresight and they know exactly when to pull the trigger. It's not necessarily, he needs to wait X amount. No, they know exactly, okay, this is when we're going to pull the trigger on this guy. Mike Holmgren actually never did. Mike McCarthy came in and basically, was like, okay, yeah, like, now Aaron Rodgers will be the guy. And actually, it wasn't even Mike McCarthy. It was Ted Thompson.
Oh, so yeah, you're sure right. It was Ted Thompson. Yeah,
Ted Thompson. Yeah. So Ted Thompson was the one who basically said, all right, you know what, Brett, you want out? We're not going to bring you back this time. You're done. We got our guy right here. We've had our guy this whole time. You can have your whole media circus. I had Lincoln Kennedy on last week. He was talking about this. He's like every fucking day on NFL Today, he'd be like, when is Brett Favre retiring? Is Brett Favre, because he used to work at NFL Today, and it's just like, who gives a shit, motherfucker? Just either retire or not. Like, but you're not coming back here because we hedged our bet on our future of our franchise and Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think kind of, to your point, the great organizations kind of have that vision. And actually, we can even take it outside of football. Elon Musk was on today, or not today. He basically talked about the MBAization of America, and I totally disagree with him. But he's basically like the great CEOs who have MBAs, they're only focused on finances and numbers. They don't have the vision of the product and the customers. To an extent, he's right. However, I disagree with him because you still need to have the MBA to get your foot in that door. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
Yeah, but essentially the same. The principle is true. The vision and the mindset of kind of seeing, kind of having the foresight, like you said, just knowing kind of what your 5 to 10 year horizon is going to be. If you're able to do like a 5 to 10, maybe and expand to 20 years, like the great coaches are able to do that. The great GMs are
Right.
able to do that.
Right.
And that's pretty much kind of what my 2 cents on that. So.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, and you look at Alabama. I mean, Nick Saban, shit, like Pablo, man, he ain't done. Gee, like, I mean, we could be talking 10 to 10. You said 8 out of 14, 10 out of 16. By the time, I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do, boy? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if you're like a recruit and Alabama passes up on you, I mean, you're like, all right, whatever, fuck it. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the Peach Bowl. No disrespect. We're gonna win the Peach Bowl. We're gonna win like different type of bowl game.
Yeah.
We'll get into the playoff maybe, but then we're not winning the BCS title, but we'll still get in like a top 5, top 10 ranking maybe at the end of the year. You know what I mean? But
right.
Yeah, kind of talk to me about that.
It's crazy. Like I would like to think that at this point, as a recruit, why would you turn down? Like literally, Nick Saban can go sit in your mother's living room and say, "Listen, every single recruiting class I've had at the University of Alabama in the last 15 years that has stayed for at least 3 years has played for a national championship." So, do you want to sign now, or you want to come back? Like, what do you like? You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, there's no other program that even gets close to that. Like,
right.
Every single recruiting class has played for a national championship. So, son, if you've met an Alabama football player in the last 15 years, there's not one of them who has not played for a natty. Who else can say that?
And actually, let me ask you this question. This is actually about not just the recruiting aspect, but kind of also the aspect of understanding kind of, like, I mean, I guess because Devontae Smith is like this unheralded GOAT, and we talk about Jalen Walter, but tell me kind of what you think. If Amari Cooper played 4 years, do you think Amari Cooper would have been successful? I mean, this is a hypothetical, but just because I saw this debate circulating around my social media today. If Amari Cooper played 4 years, would he be as successful? And if and do you think that Devontae Smith is the GOAT of college football, as Jerry Jeudy said, as opposed to maybe a Julio Jones and kind of like a Devontae Smith or some other kind of wide out?
I'm going to be completely honest. I think Devontae Smith is a amazing talent. I think that he has been asked to do more than most guys in his position, his age, would have been asked to do, with Jalen Waddle going down.
Yeah.
But there was a man from Foley, Alabama, named Julio Jones.
Yes.
Okay. And Julio Jones is 6'4", 230, ran 4.3. If Julio Jones played in the same system that Devontae Smith played in, with Alabama slinging it all around like that, and you understand, when Julio was at Bama, they were still a run-first program.
Mark Ingram.
Right, exactly. I mean, Mark Ingram and T. Rich. So, like, if Julio got to play in Sark's system, I think he would have shattered every single record that there is for the game of college football.
Yeah. And I mean yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, there was at one point during the season, Julio was averaging like 24 yards a catch in college. Like, what? Like, that's like ew. Like what? Like it's disgusting. Like I'm gonna pull up the statistic real quick.
You go for it, yeah.
Julio was ridiculous. He was filthy, and he was something like he was. I think he was before his time. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, okay, for a career, he averaged 15 yards a catch, 15 touchdowns.
Wow.
Right. Like, he only played 3 seasons.
3 seasons.
Right. So, like, if you look up how many so, for example, his sophomore year, he only had 43 catches. His freshman year, he had 58 catches. His junior year, he had 78 catches and 1,133 yards. So 14.5 yards a catch. And then you look at Devontae and how many times caught the ball compared to Julio. And you look at how many attempts.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything bad about Devontae Smith. I just think that if Julio had that same type of opportunity, he'd have put up the same. So, like, for example, even with Devontae coming into an Alabama program that threw the ball all over the place, right? So his freshman year, 8 catches. Sophomore year, 42 catches. Junior year, 68 catches. This year, he had 117 catches.
Man.
Like, that's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I at this point, it's all hypotheticals and stuff like that. But Julio has been one of the most talented guys in the game for a long time.
A long ass time.
Right. Even last year, GMs were saying if you could pick one receiver to build your team around, a lot of, like, I think over 17 of them took Julio Jones.
Right.
And you could argue that, you know, last year and the year before last were not Julio's best seasons. And still GMs are saying, like, we'll build our team around Julio Jones.
And to that point, Julio being the man, because I can't, he graduated my year, 08. And I remember when I was looking at rivals, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like on the top of the list out of Foley, Alabama. I'm like, I ain't never seen no motherfucker come out of Foley be at the top of the list. It's either somewhere
I've never even heard of Foley, Alabama.
Yeah. And then you just see these like lonky, like just like, you know, just like, you know what I mean, kind of like just like that you know, that face, like motherfuckers
that
like,
$1 million stare, yeah.
Yeah, $1 million stare. Like I'm going. Like that's it. Like, you know, you ain't stopping me. I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So.
Correct.
I mean, you know, to your point, it's just like, yeah, like to see how successful he was at the collegiate level, and to see how that translates so well to the professional ranks.
Right.
You know, I mean, they were almost his catch is what put the Falcons in contention or kind of in position to almost win that Super Bowl game back in 20. You know, and I mean, it's just incredible. To your point, I mean, yeah, I think total body of work, you have to take Julio. Because of, you know, size, talent, and just like you said, the numbers, and in the system, the offense, the scheme he played in was so critical to this debate, because the scheme he played in was literally Mark Ingram, Trent Richardson, or whoever the hell else was the running back. Greg McElroy was his quarterback. Like, you know, who?
Exactly.
Like who?
On, man. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you can't compare them, man. Like, you can't compare them. Like, I say the same thing about like, so we talk about, and this is kind of similar, right? But like, we talk about like George Kittle and Travis Kelce, right?
Oh, George Kittle, baby.
Yeah, for me personally, George Kittle is better than Travis Kelce.
What's up, boy? I'll go ahead.
But there's that argument about, like, are these two the greatest tight ends we've ever seen? And I'm like, you know, if we're gonna do that, I just want you to imagine Tony Gonzalez in today's offenses, man. Like, come on. Like, imagine thank you, bro. Imagine Uncle Shay.
Shay, boy. Uncle Shay. Shout out if you listen to this. Hopefully you do.
Today's offense, man, where he would be split out in the slot, being able to work on linebackers and say, like, come on, man. Shannon Sharp was making Pro Bowls, catching 3-4 balls a game. Like, can you imagine if he was getting 10, 12 targets a game? Like, it wouldn't even his statistics would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I think that that's a problem we have in sports with like recency bias.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like this, and I'm not so biased to me where the argument doesn't work both ways, right?
Yeah.
So like the game at every level has gotten bigger, faster, stronger. Games change, right? To me, it's the same thing with the basketball argument, man. Like if you go LeBron versus MJ, in my opinion, LeBron is the GOAT, man.
Hey, we out here, boy. Laker Nation, baby.
But
y'all heard it here first on the A1 podcast. Kobe Griffin picks LeBron over Michael Jordan. We are out here, baby. We are out here, baby. Let's go.
So I had this argument the other day, and I always tell people, I think LeBron is the boat, and I think MJ is the GOAT. And I'm going to tell you why. So LeBron is the best of all time.
Easily.
From a physical standpoint, from a talent standpoint, from a skill standpoint, LeBron James is the greatest combination of skills we've ever seen on a basketball court. But why he won't go down as the GOAT is because he's arguing. So you're arguing with people's nostalgia. You're arguing you're arguing with emotions and feelings and the way Michael Jordan made them feel, right? Yeah. This is what makes Jordan the GOAT. Is Jordan made basketball a global sport, right?
Right.
And you got to think about this. Michael Jordan is the luckiest motherfucker in the history of Earth. And let me explain. His run started right at the end of Bird and Magic. He had not one but 2 expansion drafts during his title run. Mm-hmm. So weak in the league, right? Not to mention, imagine if LeBron had the best rebounder in the game on his team, the best post defender, as well as the best wing defender on his team, as well as he picked of course there were less 3 shot in this era, but of the top 10 percentage wise 3-point shooters in the league, 3 of them played for the Bulls. You had Paxton, Kerr, and Harper. Like right. they were literally a team that was dominant. There was never a time of his 6-year run of all the playoff series they played, and they were the underdog one time. Once. Like, and that was to the Jazz, a team they had beat the year before. Right. Yeah. Like, right. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? And what I say is the game has gotten bigger, faster, stronger. So like when Mike was in the league, there was 2 players in the NBA who had a 40-inch vertical or higher. If you look at the NBA Combine for 2020, there's 16 or 17 guys just in that class of a 40-inch vertical or higher. So the game's just gotten bigger, faster, stronger, like, and LeBron has dominated from day one. From day one, he's either been the best or second best player on his team at all times. You cannot say that for Mike. Like, I don't know, man. But greatness can't just be measured by talent, right? So like greatness is measured by the fact that, you know, you got kids in India who've never seen Michael Jordan play basketball who wear Jordans, right? They've never seen, seen, you know, his clips at UNC, but they know the Jumpman logo when they see it, right? So like things like that. That's why I say I don't make arguments about who's the GOAT. What I do make arguments about is who's better, who's the best player of all time. Because in my opinion, you can put LeBron at 1 through 4, and he'll start on any all-time team you can make. You cannot have that same argument with Mike. It's not fair, but LeBron's 6'8", 270, man. Like, yeah. And like, at the barbershop that they do was like, who do you think will win in a 1-on-1 game between Mike and LeBron? I'm like, who gets ball first?
Exactly.
He was like, LeBron gets ball first. I said LeBron wins 11-0. He said, what? I said, yeah, LeBron wins 11-0. He was like, You think Mike's not scoring a point? I said no. I think if you give LeBron the ball first, he doesn't give it up. Because there's no way Mike is stopping 6'8", 270 on the block. If I'm LeBron, I'm gonna back him down and dunk on him all game. All game.
No.
And like, so yeah, man. Like, okay. So who was I do this too, like, we judge a superhero, right? Based off the villains that they beat.
Yeah.
So think about this. When Mike was in his prime, who was the KD in the league? Who was the 7-foot sniper who could dribble like a guard in guard positions 1 through 4? I'll wait.
You're gonna be waiting wild because I can't think of anybody.
Exactly. Who was Giannis in Michael Jordan's era? Like, 6'11", runs the floor like a guard, literally rebounds and goes coast to coast, play after play. Nobody. Okay, got it. Yep. Right. Who was Steph Curry in Michael Jordan's era that was, literally shooting 48% from 3, shooting shots from the freaking parking lot? Like, what? Like, what are we doing here? Like, okay, Michael Jordan once shot 40. So Michael Jordan once won a scoring title shooting 46% from the field for a season.
Right.
Steph Curry shot better than that from 3. What? Like, just stupid. Like, just stupid.
Stupid crazy, bruh.
Right. And I'm not saying that Michael Jordan is not great, but if Michael Jordan had to play in this era, I think his legacy would definitely be different.
And I have to agree with that because it's almost like if you look at it kind of the game, they say, oh, but the game is more physical. Well, yeah, the game's more physical, but the athletes are better. I mean, yeah, the game was more physical. You had to go through the bad boys. You got to deal with like hard fouls. You had Rodman. It was more like a show. But like right now, I mean, these boys, oh boy, you talking about you brought it up, Steph, Giannis, KD. I mean, you're talking about like 3 almost like top 20 all-time great NBA players, like in one era at the same time, still in their prime. Like,
Exactly.
it's just crazy. I mean, like you compare it, it's the same thing with the NFL. And I mean, I don't want to pivot, but I did an episode on the podcast, episode 20, because I'm not sure if you heard Randy Moss's recent comments on Tio's podcast. I just addressed him on this podcast. He's basically like they asked like the coach, Tio's coach asked Randy, so Randy, who's the greatest wide receiver to ever play in the NFL? And Randy's like, you talking to him? He's like, already. And then he's like, my mentality is that you have to be the best. And like I say, I'm the best jokingly, but honestly, I am. And then basically T.O. was basically kind of chimed in with the co-host the coach chimed in. He said basically the reason I can't put Jerry is because I never seen him do the kind of beat the double coverage, the triple coverage, all these different types of combinations and packages. And like you said, you never like the athleticism, man. We never seen a guy like Randy Moss cross up dudes off the line and then burn them that deep to where he's the moment the ball snaps, he's already 30-40 yards down the field. I mean, it's just like boom in the matter of 45 seconds. Like, I mean, it's just like it's phenomenal. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the best. I think Randy's the best. Jerry has these, but Randy kind of has the kind of like the mock. Like, oh yeah, like you watch him play, I'm gonna give it to Randy. You know what I mean? Just because
Right.
Yeah.
So like greatness and it's weird when you talk about like the GOAT because longevity comes into the greatness conversation, right? Like Jerry Rice, work ethic and the fact he can stay healthy for so long, those things are what make Jerry Rice the GOAT. But if I got one game for my life and I got to pick between Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, I'm taking Randy.
Yeah.
And then to be honest, I'm not even taking Jerry Rice number 2. I'm taking T.O.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
And where it gets really shitty, I'm not even taking Jerry Rice number 3. I'm taking Megatron.
Hey, is this like that, boy? Hey, Kobe Griffin's out dropping these knowledge and these fire hot takes, boy. I go.
All I'm saying is, man, as you look at like where was the 6'3", 215-pound corner that ran a 4.3 that Jerry Rice had to beat?
Where's Richard Sherman?
Right, doesn't exist. Like doesn't exist. Not to mention how complex zone defenses have become. Right, with the bracketing underneath and zone blitzes off the corner. And I mean, the way we shade safeties now and linebackers to take away number one targets. Like Jerry Rice played in an era where everyone still pretty much played very, very vanilla defenses. It was either man with a safety over the top, or it was man with a blitz. If they ran zone, it was like cover 3 with just, deep thirds and being and you had your underneath umbrella players. So like Jerry Rice got out of the game right before it became this complex. So a lot of people talk about how like 7-on-7, right? Like I coach 7-on-7 here in Texas.
Yeah.
And like
yes,
they say 7-on-7 has, given the offenses an advantage because now they get more practice on, throwing and catching. I would argue that it's also made defenses better against the pass, though, because if you see nothing but different route concepts and you see nothing but different arm angles from different quarterbacks and understand how receivers try to beat the coverages that you're running, how could that not make you a better defender, right? So it's not just the QBs and receivers that are benefiting from it. The linebackers and DBs are benefiting from it as well. Like there weren't linebackers like Patrick Willis in Jerry Rice's era. Like you know what I mean? Like he caught the tail end of like Urlacher. Urlacher was the first Mike linebacker we saw that really was like running down the seam, making plays. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, man. I just think that when it comes down to greatness, that comes into, now you're arguing with nostalgia and feelings and how a person made them feel and blah 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 blah. When it comes down to just the best, like Michael Jordan said it best himself. Like we should all be so lucky that Allen Iverson wasn't 6'5". Like
yeah, exactly. The truth.
Can you imagine if AI was 6'5" doing the things he was capable of? Like
reach, man.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. It'd be absolutely crazy. So, that I think as we have to appreciate what's in front of us, right? Like with coming full circle, we have to appreciate what's in front of us in terms of like Devontae Smith and like the year he's put up. But we have to take into account when we're looking back at these statistics, we have to put them into full context, right? Like if you equate how many targets were thrown to Devontae Smith to Julio Jones, the numbers don't even add up.
Right.
Like, no.
No.
Like you ask any DB in America, like who would you rather cover? I'm telling you, I'd rather cover Devontae Smith.
Easily.
Yeah, because if I can at least get my hands on Devontae, not saying it's an easy task. If I get my hands on him, I can at least slow him down.
Right.
Julio Jones is 6'4", 230 pounds, and is faster than Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
By a lot. Devontae Smith's gonna be like a 4'5" guy when he goes to the combine.
Right.
Julio was a 4'3" guy at 230 pounds. Dude's a truck. Like,
yeah.
So but yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave that.
And I agree with that because obviously with Julio Jones, I mean, we've seen footage where it's like Matt Ryan throws a pick and Julio Jones is the first man to get to the DB, like halfway across the field. I'm like, oh my god, like how?
When they were playing in the playoffs and Devontae Freeman had that long run down the sideline to clinch the game against this is the year they went to Super Bowl against the Patriots. Like who they played in the NFC Championship? Was it the
Packers?
So it was the divisional round before they played the Packers. And they're trying to ice the game. And Devontae Freeman breaks down the sideline and he's about to get hawked. Julio Jones comes off his block on one side of the field, sprints to the other side, cleans up the corner on that side, and Devontae Freeman walks in the end zone. And I'm just like,
bruh.
Nobody gonna say nothing about, like, this man covered 70 yards of ground to make a game-winning block. Like, you just little things like that, man. Like I don't know. I don't know. And going back to like that best argument, can you imagine if T.O. played with the same quarterbacks that Jerry Rice did?
Randy with the same quarterbacks that Jerry Rice did.
Right.
Ooh. And those teams too, bro. You got to also factor in the teams. It's not just the QB. It is the QBs, but it's also the teams.
Absolutely, absolutely. So like the Randy Moss in his older years went to the Patriots
Yeah.
with a great old line and a great quarterback, and look at the numbers he put up. Like,
That was my senior year of high school. I actually wore you mentioned you wore number 12.
yeah,
In honor of I forgot who it was. Was it
Randall Cunningham.
who?
Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. I wore number 81 in honor of Randy Moss for that 07 season. Because
Nice.
yeah, and so pretty much when I got there, everyone was like T.O. T.O. I'm like, it ain't T.O. bro. I'm wearing this for Randy. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. I was cool with it. You know, I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Because the Bay Area T.O. is that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and but you know, to your point, I think I agree. I mean, put in Randall Cunningham. That's a perfect example. Randy Moss had Randall Cunningham his rookie year, right?
Right.
Randall Cunningham has a comeback player of the year. You know what I mean? And he's like first, I was like ridiculous. He's in the MVP debate. If you
At
give
35 years old, yeah.
at 35 years old, if you put Randall Cunningham with Jerry Rice in that same year, I don't think he has a comeback player of the year kind of season like the Randy Moss.
Right.
Randy Moss set the record for most rookie yards, receiving yards, and most touchdowns by a receiver in his rookie season. That one in 1998. If and then Randall Cunningham moves on, you get Dante Culpepper. Dante Culpepper is a three straight Pro Bowls. Randy Moss leaves. Dante Culpepper gets injured. He's never the same quarterback again. Randy Moss goes to Oakland. There's no one there, right? Who the fuck's the quarterback? I don't know the quarterback's name. Do you know the quarterback's name in Oakland? Because I don't. 05 to 06. I don't know who's the QB. Okay. Yeah. So you wonder why you want to quit on the team? Okay, I'll tell you why. Because there's no one there. There's no organization. There's no winning culture. It's dysfunction. All right. That's what it was. I remember. It's here. They're in our backyard. They were here. It's dysfunction. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. He goes to New England. Everyone's writing him off. This guy is done. He's not playing. Bill Belichick makes the trade the day of the draft. I think day one of the draft. Yep. This is right into my senior year. This is when I started. Okay, I'm like, I'm gonna give this a shot. I'm gonna try this shit. He gets him in, and then fucking we see what happens in his first season. His first season with Tom Brady. What happens? 16-0, 23 receiving touchdowns, and then Tom Brady also sets the record for 50 touchdowns. Have you ever seen that where a quarterback and a receiver both set records in their respective statistical categories for fucking touchdowns in the same season and go undefeated in the same year? I mean, bro, what else do we need to say about this shit?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I would say about like game 4, it wasn't to the point where like you didn't know he was trying to get Randy the ball. Like,
yeah.
like double covered, triple covered, it didn't matter. Like I remember watching the Patriots that year, and it was so ridiculous, man. They played against the Dolphins, I want to say, like
Right.
week 3, week 4.
Right.
And I remember watching a corner pressed on Randy Moss with a safety over the top with a linebacker inside. They had double brackets, an underneath bracket and overtop bracket with press coverage.
Right.
Randy Moss caught a slant and still took it 75 yards to the crib, bro. Like, what? Like, what are we talking about here? Like,
yeah.
Like as an OC, like that's the biggest like fuck you in the entire world. Like, yeah, I know you know what I'm going to do. I'm still going to run it, and we're still going to score. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Someone was saying that, you know, the best teams, like Cam Newton was also calling on video doing this shit. The linebacker was like, "Hey Cam, we know that signal when he's doing that." Cam's like, "Oh yeah." We say, "Oh yeah, you know that, right? Okay, oh yeah. All right, watch this." And then he basically he runs the play, and the guy, and then he just scores because he does a pitch out, and then boom. And it's like, you know, when you're that good, Larry Bird did the same thing in his day. When he was I'm gonna come up the court. I'm gonna take the ball up the court. And I'm gonna score right here. And he's like, and he told he's like, try to stop me.
right.
Try to stop me.
Right.
He did, and just, you know, Randy Moss. To your point, the Patriots, people figured them out, but it didn't matter. You can figure them out. Yeah. Like bro. I mean, you're talking about Julio Jones, like, you know, like bro, Randy Moss. Ooh, bro. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, that's another level of just devastating. D'Angelo Hall was on record. If you listen to him, this interview with Christy Leahy, he said, "I seen the footage. I seen the Jerry Rice footage. I played against Jerry Rice my rookie year, but all I remember was him crumpling. He was crumpling when I pressed him at the line. You know this is DB. When a receiver crumples when you press him at the line, you know you've already won. It's You know, but he's like, I remember this is where I talk about route running. Deanna said Randy Moss was the most underrated route runner in NFL history because he's like, 'cause I just remember having to go up against him and he would just be so lightning fast and his feet were so fucking deadly that he would just cross you up and run the route so effectively. People just think Randy ran a 4.25 40 and he could just burn you, and he did. But what he would do first, D'Angelo Hall said this, he would break your ankles first, make sure you know that he beat you off the line, whether it's inside release, outside release, whatever type of look you give him, he beats you, and then he gets open to make the play. And
Absolutely.
that's exactly what people don't understand about Randy Moss. He's the most underrated route runner in NFL history. Like, people are like, oh yeah, Jerry Rice ran 4.7 140 and he ran his route so effective. Well, guess what? Randy Moss did too. How do you think he got open? You know, yeah, he caught balls double coverage. He jumps over people like Charles Woodson, but he gets open because he runs the route so precisely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I gotta get to my client, man.
hey, I got you, boy. Hey, appreciate you coming on, baby.
Always a good time, man.
Hey,
I'll
man,
talk to you
this
soon, okay, bro?
to be continued. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, baby. Take care.